Hi, I'm Jill. I'm the Clinical Project Manager for Optical Express. 11 years ago, I did an eye camp out in Syria. I was the Senior Optometry Development Manager for Optical Express at that time. So back in 2010, we were approached by an optometrist who actually used to work with us, who now has a branch of an opticians over in Spain. And she asked us if we would support a charity out in Syria called the Red Crescent, who were going to be doing an eye camp for 6 days in several parts across Syria. It was going to be led by Dr. Maraf, who is an ophthalmologist, a local ophthalmologist out in Syria, and they were needing optometrists to support him in his work with the eye camp, obviously providing eye care for the Syrian people. Syria is a very poor country even before the conflict, and with 30% of the population living in poverty. So eye care was really a luxury for these people and not something they were fortunate enough to have. So it was something that Optical Express and David Molesdale was very keen to support. So that's how we became involved.
Hi, my name's Amy. I'm Clinical Governance Manager at Optical Express. I've worked with the company for 17 years, and 10 years ago I also supported the Syrian Red Crescent on behalf of the company. So back in 2010 I was a student of optometry at Glasgow Caledonian University, and I had been keen to support the business in any of its charitable endeavours. As this involved providing eye care, then it seemed like a good fit, and when I was given the opportunity to go, I jumped at the chance. So in total we spent 10 days in Syria. During that time we provided eye care in a number of different locations. There were tents that were set up for us to provide eye care from. Generally each morning that we got there, the tents were full of people. In fact, there was queues out the door because it had been advertised in local media and I believe just through word of mouth that we were going to be there, and because there's really no provision of eye care in these communities, then the community was very keen to visit us and have their eyes tested and have their eye health checked. So we were very much in demand. Optical Express paid for our flights, they paid for our accommodation, they ensured that we had safe arrangements when we arrived in Syria. We had someone to collect us and drive us to our locations, and someone to look after us for the entirety of the trip.
So many highlights from the trip. A great sense of happiness because you've helped so many people. That was the overwhelming part of the trip.
So one of the highlights of the trip for me was attending a site in a particularly deprived area, and I had met with an elderly female and her husband, and her husband had explained to me via the translator how difficult she was finding life in general and had done for so many years because she was really struggling with her vision. I had thought initially that maybe there was cataract present that meant that perhaps I wouldn't be able to improve the vision much further, but then it transpired that this person had never worn glasses before and had quite a significant prescription. So when I was able to find the correct prescription for her and give her that and show her kind of the world for the first time. So she was very grateful and our husband was so grateful, and for me it was one of the most humbling experiences of the trip. So when I'd gone to Syria, I was really very early in my career as an optometrist. I was still at university studying optometry, so it was certainly an experience that kind of threw me in at the deep end, and really I had no option but to sink or swim. It's an experience that's completely priceless. You were able to see pathology and have experiences there that you just wouldn't get whilst working in the United Kingdom. So for that reason, I would recommend anyone who's doing optometry or working in healthcare, if you were given the opportunity to do something like this, to grab that opportunity with both hands. It's a humbling experience, and it's an experience that I'll take with me for the rest of my life.